Again, as much interest as I have in other people, I'm 20 times interested in myself. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that I want to understand what makes me tick, what makes me go, why do I get out of bed in the morning? Because I feel that if I can understand me, I can better understand people. And when I can understand people, I can help people better. And that's the end goal. I want to help as many people as humanly possible. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Built Not Given. I'm your host, Jake Strickland, and I actually think I'm going to get this episode out on time. It'll be 2 weeks in a row. Kind of killing it. No, I'm kidding. But no, on a real note, last week did come out on time. This week came out on time, so we're kind of get back in the flow of things. But kind of one of the reasons that messed that flow up was due to the fact that I just recently moved out, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Not the fact that I moved out, but what has happened since I moved out. And before this episode goes any further, it's not going to be about blaming anybody. There's no fault. There's no wrongdoing. This episode is simply about something I've realized over the past couple of weeks. And I wasn't going to do this, but I felt called to. I wanted to do a motivational episode, but I think I'm going to do that next week. That's kind of my plan. But without further ado, we shall begin. But I just recently moved out, and I thought that it was going to change a lot. I thought that it was going to be like this exponential change throughout my day-to-day stuff, and thought I was going to be overwhelmed because people talk about the bills, the groceries. There's so many different aspects to moving out that people don't really talk about, and I guess I should mention this as well. I'm 21 years old. If you listen to me from the beginning, that's been the case. I try not to mention it too much because I feel that it discredits me for a certain little bit, but I moved out because it was time. I was in a position that I could, and I was like, you know what, better late than never. Might as well go now. Not for any big reason, nothing like that. And I wasn't surprised by the bills or the groceries or all that kind of stuff. I kind of understood that was going to be the thing. But what surprised me was what happened in my head. I for the majority of my life, I kind of realized there was something. Not realized that there was always something going on. Every day was a new day, and usually that day carried some sort of weight or fire that I had to put out. And again, like I said in the beginning of this episode, this isn't about blaming anybody, but the people that I care about, I carry the weight of their grief, their burdens. Like whenever somebody shares something with me that they're going through, I truly do. I carry that with them, and I'm not the best at showing it, but the people that are listening to this that know me, I do carry it. I carry it with everybody that ever mentions anything to me. And along with that, growing up with divorced parents, all that good stuff, there was a lot that I carried along the way. There's a lot of heartache, there's a lot of just headaches, there's a lot of problems, there was a chaos. Like I said, every day was a fire that was needed to be put out. It wasn't always my fire either. And sometimes it didn't get put out because it wasn't my place, but I did feel the heat from the burning. And what I've realized since I moved out on my own, this was a big realization, and it didn't occur to me until really last week. But the mental space without all of those problems, the chaos, that was the mental space that was keeping, that it was taking up, did not allow for anything of my own. Like I said, nobody's fault. I could have done it. I could have addressed my own problems, but I guess subconsciously, I'd never decided that my problems were big enough to do it because I felt like there was always something bigger. So all of my stuff, all of the things that I wanted, the things that I wanted to do, or the things that I was struggling with, they kind of got put in a storage room. And I didn't know that that storage room really existed because I thought that, I feel good. I'm fine. I thought that the problems just weren't there. Truthfully, I didn't think that there was a problem about it. I felt like I addressed them, dealt with them, and kind of just moved on. But what I didn't know is me moving on actually just shoved them into that storage room. But it's not that when I moved out, everything kind of changed. Nothing went away. Those problems are still problems. Those burdens I still carry. All of those things are still there, but I'd have to think about them to really access it. They're not always on my mind. What is always on my mind is that storage room. That storage room of stuff that I put to the side, that I put to the future, that I was like, you know what, this is tomorrow's problem, that became the next day, then the next day, then the next day. And eventually I forgot about it to the point where it was just stored. It was stored away. And since I moved out, there was a there was a sense of peace. Kind of give you the timeline there. The minute I moved out, got everything moved in, everything was going good. There was a sense of peace. There was a sense of quietness. I was like, hey, those problems that I've dealt with, the fires that I was putting out on a daily basis, they didn't take up as much space. So obviously my head's not always on them. But shortly after that, I'm sure there's a scientific or a psychological reasoning behind it, but the storage room started to fill that space. But it's not just the storage room that filled it. There was a lot of good stuff as well. I mean, I'm waking up earlier, I'm waking up easier as well, going to the gym's easier. All the things that I want to do, I feel more capable of doing. I'm more motivated to do it. I'm more disciplined. Everything that I was lacking before has slowly started to come back. But along with that is that storage room of problems. The analysis paralysis, the bad habits, the thoughts, and the problems that have been with me for years. I just didn't know that they were a problem. And like I said, not because moving out created all those situations, but because they have been building for years and just waiting for an opportunity to step to the front of my mind. None of those problems have actually grown. None of them have gotten bigger. None of them are any more of a problem than they were. They just came to fruition. They just showed back up. They came out of that storage room into my life, and now they're here. And I know this episode probably kind of halfway feels like there's not much of a point to it, but there is a point to it. Because just because everybody preaches about the environment that you're in, the people that you surround yourself with, the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, but what they don't tell you is that when you change your environment, some things that were propping, some things that you just were able to just kind of breeze through because that environment helps sustain that. When you change, that goes away. And all those problems that you breeze through, that you kind of ignored, whether it just be your day-to-day actions, all of it becomes exponentially harder. And right now, I can't tell you that it's going to be that it. I can't tell you that it gets better because I've been here time and time again. But right now, I'm in the midst of what I've talked about time and time again as well. Like I'm in the middle of it. I'm in the middle I'm in the middle of a reinvention. That was I think that was either last week's episode or the week before. I'm in the middle of a reinvention. And I want y'all to know over the next couple of weeks, I'm not going to spend like very much time on it at all. I'm just going to touch on it pretty much every episode, like where I'm at. What did I learn this past week? Because at the end of the day, these problems are problems, but I'm not struggling with them. If that makes sense. They suck. They're not fun. They're there, but it's not that I'm not struggling with it. I'm actually very intrigued to see where the next few weeks lead me. Because like I said, I thought that all the stuff that I put away was away. I thought when I shut that door, they were gone. And I've been told my whole life you can't do that, and the truth is you probably can't, but I did, and now I'm here. And I genuinely cannot wait to explore that. So like I said, again, this episode's not it was there was no lesson to this episode. This is just me talking, me telling you where I'm at right now. And if you're in the same spot with me, then I challenge you over the next 3 weeks, kind of do what I do. Not do what I do, but do something similar to what I'm doing. I'm not pushing the stuff that came back any further away because they're here. And I know if I do it again, then they're just going to come back in the future. What I'm doing is I'm going to sit in them. I'm going to figure out where they came from, why I have them, and how to fix them. I'm not going to tell you how that works for you because I believe that you know how that works for you. And if it takes you going to somebody that helps you walk through that, then maybe that's what you should do. Fortunately for me, for probably 8 years now, I have been so intrigued with people that I've studied what makes people tick. And along with that, I picked up a lot of the ways to go through and address your problems. That's not saying that I probably don't need someone else to help me. And if I hit that stage, then that's where I'll be. I'll go to them because again, as much interest as I have in other people, I'm 20 times interested in myself. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that I want to understand what makes me tick, what makes me go, why do I get out of bed in the morning? Because I feel that if I can understand me, I can better understand people. And when I can understand people, I can help people better. And that's the end goal. I want to help as many people as humanly possible. But right now, I'm in the middle of not helping myself, but discovering something new that I thought was away, that I thought I had thrown away. But before I keep going down rabbit holes, like I said, this week I mean, maybe we got something out of this. I hope you did. And I hope that if this did resonate with you, that you spend the coming weeks with me doing something similar, figuring out what's going to work for you. Because like I said, I'm going to figure out I'm going to figure me out. I'm going to figure out where the problems came from, why they're here, why the habits are here. I believe that some of the habits are directly correlated with some of the problems that have came up. But again, over the next few weeks, I'll figure out exactly if that's the case. And I'm super excited. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this episode. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. And please reach out. I mean, I would love to connect with all y'all. There's obviously going to be a link in the description, like there is every time. But now more than ever, I do it anonymously. I don't need to know your name. I don't need to know anything. If you're going to take this journey with me of discovering something that you probably don't really want to get into, that's going to suck. It's going to hurt. There's going to be problems that come up that you didn't even know were problems. The problems that you threw away created more problems while they were in that storage room. They started fighting each other or something. That's going to happen. It's going to happen to me, but I'm excited for it. And I can't wait to keep y'all updated along the way. Have a great week.